Coley, I think we need to start by talking about the other night.
The elephant's in the room.
Well, maybe it is the elephant in the room. Seriously, is that the worst you felt in football management?
Well, I felt really good yesterday because I knocked the wall down. It was I felt a big sense of achievement, and it took a lot of thinking and planning, and I eventually did it. So I achieved something yesterday. So I'd forgot about the game when I was hitting the wall, although I might have been thinking about the game when I was hitting the wall. Who knows?
Home improvements, are we talking?
I'd like to see home improvements at the Wham Stadium, that's for sure. It is one of the lowest points because we've had some bad games here, don't get me wrong, but you only remember the recent ones, or certainly the most recent ones. When was the last time you can remember? Were you there on Tuesday, brother? No, you weren't there, no. So, Danny, when was the last time you could remember that we had one shot on goal at home? And scored with it, 100% ratio, some might say, but no, that's not good enough for us. Doesn't matter who you're playing against. And, some people might think I was being disrespectful to the Wigan players who played, but they don't play every week for them. That was the point I made. Some of them are still very good players, earning a lot of money, I must add. But that doesn't detract from how we should play, no matter, regardless of the opposition. And that's something that we've got to try and put right in. You've only got to do that, or you can only do that, by working at it, by being positive in what you do, by believing in what you do. And that's what we'll start going forward today.
Is it potentially a culmination of a number of performances that you've not been happy with, or a number of elements that you've not been happy with that have kind of crystallised into one game?
Yeah, it's like a pressure cooker, isn't it? You just get frustrated. The big frustration for me was not being able to pass the ball on a carpet. So that's the thing that annoys me the most. And it's not as if I know we can't, because I know we can't pass the ball. I see us do it. I've seen us do it this season. I've seen us, that same team who had one shot on goal had 25 shots, or more or less the same team, had 25 shots at the Stadium LA. So it doesn't add up. We have to be more positive in our approach, in our desire to win games, and that's got to start Saturday. But it's got to start today in turn, to be fair.
Criticising or being critical of players is something that you've done over the years selectively. Is it a conscious decision when you do it, or sometimes does it just happen and we get on record here some of what happens in that changing room?
I think as you get older, things slip out when you least expect them. No, I mean, the players shouldn't be exempt from criticism. I don't really believe in airing me dirty washing in public. But I'm not going to try and defend the indefensible. I apologised for the fans, and then I said, I don't know why I'm apologising. I wasn't playing, and I still stand by that. What we coached them to do in training, and what the game plan that we laid out didn't materialise. That's not the coach's fault. One thing I do want to apologise to the fans was not acknowledging them after the game, because I was so furious, and that's not like me. And I really am disappointed in myself for that. So I do apologise for that, because they were still great with us. They still kept the lads going. And we can only thank them for their support. But going forward, it's not the end of the road, is it, for us? Obviously it's the end of the road to get into Wembley this year, unless we make the playoffs. But I know we've got good players. I know we've got good people in the club. I know we've got really, really talented coaches. So I don't think I'm overly worried. But I still want us to improve, because I don't like us. I don't like us not exciting the fans, and I don't think we excited the fans on Tuesday.
You've spoken before about your dynamic and your relationship with Andy Holt, the owner, the chairman, and you have a friend's relationship, but a very open, honest, frank, blunt, sometimes, relationship. Do you not worry about criticism externally then? Because it's inevitable, isn't it, that the manager gets criticised, the manager gets questioned, particularly when you're questioning your own team, if you see what I mean.
Externally being?
From some supporters. You talked about it at Burton, for example.
It's never bothered me anyway. Criticism. Some might say I've got skin like a rhino, but looking at my head, no. No, I've never worried about external criticism. I think it's human nature to want to be liked, but we're here to win football matches, not friends, aren't we? I have got a good relationship with the chairman. That doesn't say that I'm bulletproof, and I think any manager who thinks that is a fool. But we both get what this club's about, and we both get what we need to make this club grow and get better. It certainly isn't spending money that we haven't got, that's for sure. And it's a difficult task, recruitment. Other clubs will pay £100,000 a year on recruitment staff. And so some of them you get right, some of them you get wrong. And the ones that you get right, you get lauded for. The ones that you get wrong, you get dogged for. And that's the nature of life, isn't it? Really, you're always trying to make less mistakes and make better choices. And I think choices probably define us, don't they? Eventually, because what choices you make, you end up reaping the rewards. And if you make the right choices, you generally have a nice life.
Fleetwood, are you surprised to see them where they are in League One?
I think Fleetwood have got good players. I wouldn't be surprised to see anybody anywhere in League One, because it's such a demanding league. You could throw them up in the air and let them land, because there's that many good teams. There's no duck eggs. I had a good chat with Paul Cook the other day, and they had a half-forward win against Crewe. And Crewe, I watched the game. Crewe were exceptional on the day, and we both agreed that there's no game that you can ever be taken lightly in this league, because every team is capable of beating you, and you'd like to think that you're capable of beating everybody else. So you just got to find a formula to try and play well consistently, and I think I've been scrambling around for that this year more than I have done in recent years, but we'll get it right.
Are there similarities between the clubs in the sense of trying to find that consistency? No, you and Fleetwood, and putting young players into the team and trying to find a consistency.
I think so. I think they've tried to curtail their spending, because I think it had got out of hand, and they've got good facilities there. They've got good players there, and Saturday will be very tough. I know. I've seen them play 2 or 3 times. Jimmy's gone to watch them as well, and they lost 3-2 to Wigan when they were in cruise control in the game at 2-0 up. And you know what, Wigan are arguably the one of the form teams in the league, so it's going to be a tough game. They've got good players. We know they've got good players. We've seen them first hand. They've had a change of manager, which sometimes gives players a bit of oomph, that you wonder where that went when the old manager was there. And then always disappointed that when I see teams have a lift when as soon as the manager goes, not even when someone comes in. And I know they've got Stephen Crane, he's caretaker manager, and he's been there a long time, so we'll know the players. But it disappoints me when you see a lift in a team when the manager goes, and you think, well, why weren't you giving that same effort for that manager?
Is that a human nature thing, though? Change is as good as a rest, perhaps?
I don't know. As a player myself, I didn't undergo too many times when the manager got sacked when I was there, so I wouldn't really know what that felt like. In fact, I think it only happened once, maybe twice. But humans are complicated creatures, aren't they? And I think they're still trying to crack that code of human intelligence, aren't they? And some of the machines are getting better, aren't they?
And you've spoken about 25 years as a manager and nearly 20 years cumulatively as Accrington manager. What will it be like for Stephen Crane being on that touchline single figures numbers of times for a first team game, just starting potentially his management journey?
All he has to focus on is trying to win, and that's the holy grail for any manager. You just want to try and accumulate wins. And it's easier said than done. And sometimes you get in a run where things just fall in place and you win games. You scratch your head thinking, how's that happened? And then you have other times when you can't buy a win, and you find ways to snatch defeats from the jaws of victory. You just got to keep battling on through it. I've said this time and time again in the interviews, and people might think I are behind it, but you can't underestimate the element of luck in football. Wigan have scored a fluke again, a deflection that if it goes on where it was intended to go, it's always catching it. And then from there on in, we didn't play well. They played a lot better, but up to that point, Wigan had looked like scoring. So that luck goes against you when you're down, and if you believe you're unlucky, generally you are unlucky. Unlucky people recognise the fact that they're unlucky, and I think lucky people recognise the fact that they are lucky. So we've got to act like we're lucky and put that to bed.
Let's have our weekly injury update. I'll say the words Pritchard and Butcher, and you'll say we're waiting.
It's like a solicitor's firm, isn't it? Pritchard and Butcher and Co. Hopefully 2 or 3 weeks. Hopefully.
Any more? Anything different personnel-wise from the week?
No. We've got a little bit of a bounce game today with the 23s, so we can get a few to set the legs in there.